Solar and battery energy storage firm SOLV Energy set to make its public market debut today, listing on the NASDAQ Global Market under the ticker symbol MWH, megawatt hour. Company pricing its IPO at $25 a share, the top end of the marketed range. SOLV raised more than $500 million in its IPO, and joining us now is George Hirschman. He is the CEO of SOLV Energy, based out there just north of San Diego. Good to have you on set.
Great.
George,
Thanks to be here.
I think the question for anything involved in energy storage is, are we at a point now where it is becoming a commoditized product that could impact margins, profitability, et cetera?
No, I think what SOLV Energy does is we're the largest provider of energy services to solar and storage.
Best.
And so the utility scale market is highly specialized and needs to move at scale. So I don't see it becoming a commodity service.
So let's talk about how you actually work, because in energy, you've got people that put storage packs in their home. They put solar panels on your roof. You said utility scale, these huge solar and wind farms. You're in California, you drive to Vegas, you see them everywhere.
Yes.
Who hires you then? Is it the PG&Es? Is it the developers, the First Solars?
No, developers, independent power producers, Clearway Energy, companies like that you'd be familiar with.
Mm-hmm. And obviously right now we've seen a lot of sort of blowback against sustainable energy. You know, we hear about solar sort of getting reversed, the drill. How do you see government policy playing into this market going forward? Is that going to be a headwind for you?
No, actually, I think there's tailwinds in this market because of load demand. You know, we're seeing load growth all across the country, and so the demand for our product. When you talk about solar and storage, it is the lowest cost, fastest to deploy energy source. So it's actually, the market is just continuing to grow.
And is that most of it AI related, data center related?
The vast majority of load demand is because of AI, and so we're seeing data center load demand everywhere. But we're seeing, manufacturing in a lot of areas expanding as well, and that's creating load demand as well.
Solar goes through these cycles, no pun intended, where it feels like we're making a big push to kind of bring it online, and then it stalls out, and there's concerns about the cost or the capacity or the the intermittency issues with some of these renewables. And then lately, it feels like we're starting to hear more talk about it pick up again, because people understand that the grid is so challenged, and we don't want these blackout issues. We hear about nat gas, even these, businesses that relied on it and are at the bottom of the end of the line, because first you have to serve your utility customers, then even your export customers, and then businesses are. So do you think that we can make an economic case for kind of adding more solar to try to meet some of these problems, or is this going to be always kind of more of a niche market?
No, I think it's absolutely an economic issue. Solar plus storage is the lowest cost of energy, right? That is the lowest cost solution, and it is the fastest to market. So from the moment we put a shovel in the ground to when we're pushing megawatt hours is 12 to 18 months. So no other energy source can be put on the grid as fast. So if you think about just overall demand and the need for speed to market, this is the product that is, in high demand across the country.
But talk about the storage piece of it, because this is the tougher one. Like you said, you can get, people probably familiar with looking into this for their homes. You can get a battery. It'll kind of store power for a couple of hours. But if you really want to have backup power that can, be available for a period of day, we're talking about huge batteries. And then in the country, obviously, if you want to get that storage moved around, there's transmission systems that don't exist that would have to facilitate that. So how do you address that? How difficult is the storage aspect? How big does the storage have to be, these batteries have to be really to be useful?
Yeah, so we specialize in utility scale solar, right? So our plants are, measured in square miles, right? And so when you couple energy storage with solar, you can get power delivered when you need it, right? You create it during the day and deliver it for, either short duration, 4 hour, or even long duration, 8 hours. So we're just seeing these plants getting larger and the demand for it, right?
And solar's booming. I mean, solar is the fastest growth energy issue. And here's what else is booming. The stocks, at least First Solar, FSLR, if you want to throw that up, guys, TAN, which is the solar ETF, not all-time highs, but close to it. Stocks have done very, very well. Do you anticipate solid demand for your stock, MWH? What have you heard from your bankers?
Absolutely. No, I think we obviously finished a long roadshow and talked to quite a few investors, and there's a demand for the product and there's a demand for the stock, right? People really understand that this is going to be the fastest growing energy source.
What are you going to do with the proceeds, and what would you do with future, capital raises? Is it just building out capacity?
So this is a 100% primary raise, and so we are just de-levering the company, and we're going to come out completely debt-free, and really to capitalize the business for its next step, right? So as we continue to grow the business, we need to make sure that we have, the right capitalization.
Well, what is that next step? I think to Kelly's.
So I think, we're looking at what areas do our customers need, right? From a scale standpoint, what services can we add? It's important to understand our business. We look at the entire life cycle of a project. So we build, operate, and maintain power plants. So a bit different than some of the other kind of E&C peers in the market. And so we will continue to look at what services do we need to offer our customers and what areas do we need to continue to scale, because we're seeing solar and storage being built all over the country. And so, we're going to need to continue to add resources. We build coast to coast currently, but we know that we're going to have to continue to add resources. So looking at...
Even at a former gravel pit in Connecticut. George Hirsch.
Yes.
Yes. We appreciate you coming on.